5 seconds. Mr. Chairman, sir, I have been deeply touched by the kind references made to me by almost all the honorable members of this House. I am thankful for those kind references. The task of replying to the budget discussion has been made easy by the intervention of the Chief Minister, who dealt with many of the difficult points raised. Now, the main criticism against the budget was not with reference to the various items of expenditure proposed or the existing sources of revenue, but was with reference to the fresh taxation proposals. Many honorable members said that fresh taxation was not necessary at the present time. My honorable colleague pointed out that no finance minister who came forward with fresh taxation proposals could be popular. I do realize it. It is not as if I do not have the desire to be popular. I am also a human being, but I have brought forward these proposals only as a matter of duty. If we have to implement the 5 year plan, it is absolutely necessary that we should augment our resources. Some members may ask why we should be in a hurry. Sir, we have to think of the millions of people who are starving, who are ignorant, and who suffering from diseases of all sorts. They have been longing for a long time that their conditions should improve. Can I tell them that it does not matter much if they suffer for some more years? Certainly, I cannot take that responsibility. I have to tell them that I am doing my best to improve their conditions of living to the maximum extent possible in the circumstances. Therefore, I have come forward with these taxation proposals only with a view to see that the government are in a better position to implement the plan which is intended to raise the standard of living of the people. Some honorable members asked whether we should not try to reduce expenditure. As finance minister, I have examined the question whether it is possible to cut down expenditure. It can be done either by reducing salaries or by retrenchment of personnel. But after examining the question in detail, I have come to the conclusion that reducing the scales of pay is not a practical proposition now. As regards retrenchment, I may tell the House that the officers in the higher category are very limited in number. After the separation of Andhra, we have combined many posts into one post. But in spite of partition, the amount of work which has to be turned out by the various heads of departments has not gone down considerably. We have also to take into consideration the fact that we cannot send away persons who have been in our employ for a long time. Therefore, it is not possible to effect further retrenchment in the higher cadre of personnel. Coming to the low paid personnel, there is already acute unemployment and the position is becoming more and more difficult. If we send these persons out, we will be only adding to the number of unemployed persons. Therefore, there is not much scope for retrenchment and reduction of expenditure on that account. I now come to the vexed question of sales tax. It is not as if the chief minister and other ministers are unaware of the difficulties of the merchants in the administration of the sales tax law. But in spite of that, we are unable to introduce the single point tax immediately because of the difficulties involved. If we introduce it, there will be a very large reduction in our revenue. We have to remember that sales tax is our main source of revenue and that it has come to stay. Therefore, we are not in a position to give it up, but we have got to evolve methods which would make the working of this measure easy and not difficult for the people who have to pay the tax. That should be our aim. I would invite honorable members to make concrete suggestion in that direction instead of simply advising the government to give up this tax or convert it immediately into a single point tax. This year, we have given relief in respect of certain articles because we realized the difficulties involved in collecting the sales tax with reference to those articles. Demands are now made that this and that article should be exempted from sales tax. A suggestion has been made that we should give up sales tax on foodstuffs, but it is a big sum that we are collecting as sales tax on food grains. This tax does not affect the poor sections of the people. Most of our people are agriculturists and live in the villages. They get their wages in the form of food grains. Even when they get their wages in cash, they purchase their foodstuffs in the villages, which do not come into the picture of payment of sales tax at all. If we take into account the fact that a large section of the people who are poor are not asked to pay sales tax on foodstuffs, there may not be any criticism against this tax. Coming to the points raised by the representatives of teachers here, I may tell them that they have done their job very well. I would only request them to have some patience. If I am unable to make any spectacular announcement for giving relief to the teachers immediately, it is not because I do not wish to help them. There are certain obstacles standing in the way. Still, we have made a token provision in the budget for granting relief to teachers. In this connection, let me tell honorable members that if I give even a slight increase in the pay of teachers in elementary schools, the gap in the budget will further widen. Therefore, it is all the more necessary for all honorable members and especially the representatives of the teachers to support me in the taxation measures that I have proposed. As far as social service is concerned, the lady member has become an institution in herself of social service, and we are all proud of the great service she has rendered to this state, and certainly nobody can ignore that.